If we look back at the history of His Excellent President Ismail Omar Guelleh, we will know that he was born in the city of Dir Dawa in Ethiopia on the 27th of November 1947. His late father, Mr. Omar Guelleh, who in the 1930s belonged to the first wave of indigenous teachers of Djibouti, before working for the company of the railway linking Ethiopia to Djibouti. He soon joined his father and moved to Djibouti, as what was then known as the French territory of the Issa and the Afar. Although he worked for General Security Corps, he was always pro-independence and supported Djibouti's self-governance and sovereignty. The period of struggle for independence, during which Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh showed an active commitment, led him to getting fired from the General Security Corps in 1974. From that time, he converged all his energy into giving new impetus to the LPA, the African People's League, led by future President Hassan Gulay Abdidon. During this crucial period that shaped the destiny of the future nation, he actively participated in sensitizing citizens into independence. His frequent participation in international conferences and his experience enabled him to be appointed as a member of the delegation of the LPAI, responsible for conducting negotiations on independence in Paris in 1976. June the 27th, 1977, the date of the proclamation of independence, the President of the Republic called him to his side to bestow on him the heavy responsibility of Chief of Staff. He was only 30 years old. Close collaborator to the President, the young Chief of Staff had to immediately manage two major challenges facing the new government in assuming the heavy task regarding the country's internal and external security, in controlling risks of inter-ethnic clashes. In this regional context in turmoil, the young republic was able to display pragmatism by enforcing its principles of neutrality. Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh had thus demonstrated his great professional qualities and asserted himself as the interpreter of Guled's policy. He became well known for helping to end the short civil war in Djibouti with Froud in 1991. Since independence, Djiboutians observed and accompanied him in the national political landscape. In his 50s, with a poise aspect and a hearty handshake, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, by his natural abilities and through a consensual movement around his name, had become the ideal leader of his party. A man of communication, conductor, accomplished diplomat, strategist endowed with an acute and profound vision of the socio-political reality of his country, the RPP candidate had always put his skills at the service of the state. When IOG became president in 1999, the people put their trust and faith in the leader who put his country first, and one of his first challenges was to get Djibouti moving again and not going backwards. As a result, one of the president's main priorities is for the advancement of Djibouti by bringing billions of foreign investments and the construction of infrastructures such as the ports, airports and railway projects currently taking place in the country. One of the president's visions for his country is the longevity of peace in the country and establishing a good human rights record in the country. He also established peace and a reconciliation effort for his fellow people in Somalia and has been praised for his efforts in helping to establish an effective government in war-torn Somalia in the year 2000 at the Arta Conference. He has maintained excellent state security and established good relations with other countries, most notably the Americans and the Chinese. IOG has always placed the interest of the Djiboutian people above everything. The President has created many educational establishments, such as the University of Djibouti and the School of Medicine, for the advancement of his people and students. Our President will always be remembered for the excellent contribution he has made for his country and his contributions to our African neighbours through his humanitarian efforts. So it is very important that we Djiboutians assure that the President is re-elected this year, so he can continue his excellent service and the great advancement he has made for Djibouti. His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh has led Djibouti for 16 glorious years. During his presidency, the country's GDP grew, foreign investments increased exponentially, and the country has experienced prosperity like never before. He led Djibouti through difficult times, maintaining advantageous foreign relations and strengthening our country's security in this volatile region. His approach to diplomacy has been that of a great statesman, thus deserves another term as the President of Djibouti in 2016.